All right. Hello, all you sports fans out there in podcast land, and welcome once again to another edition of Babbling Brooks, your new favorite podcast, where I, your host Brooks, try to bring you some of today's sports news with just a little twist of my point of view. Hope everyone is having a wonderful week so far. I almost wanted to say Friday, but I'm like, wait, it's only my Friday. It's not actually Friday, but hey, work counts for me. So hope whatever you are in your work week is good. I just finished mine up. Went to the grocery store, took an Uber home, and I'm just chilling. Just want to do a quick little episode. A lot to cover, but I'm not really gonna go super detailed. Just kind of a little freestyling on my Friday, and just because honestly, I'm starting to get hungry, and I know once I eat and start to chill, smoke a full bowl, I'm gonna not want to do this. And I feel like I need to do this today. It's been a couple days since I did an episode trying to be more fucking consistent. So you're welcome. Here we are. And it's a happy episode. The Panthers, like I told y'all, finally got the first win of the 2023 NFL season for them. Bryce Young out playing CJ Stroud. Nothing against CJ Stroud. Bryce Young won this duel, even though it wasn't like a one-on-one thing. Like you could tell by the end of it, I feel like they were both getting tired of it. And you can't really blame them, because they're buddies. I thought that was a cool story. I didn't realize that originally. But Bryce Young, CJ Stroud go way back. I think they played on some ball teams as kids back in the day, maybe AAU or something like that. I think both of them, like I've said, for a while will have wonderful careers. And Bryce Young just, a little better each week. And he was 22-31, 235 yards. Xavier Woods came back from injury. Got a recovered fumble that led to a field goal. Chuba Hubbard, nobody really ran the ball much. But Adam Thielen keeps doing his thing. Leads the league in targets without a drop. So you throw the ball to him, he's catching it. 72 yards in this one. Good to see the connection with Bryce Young and Jonathan Mingo, his fellow rookie. 62 yards there. Hayden Hurst, 0 yards. That really surprised me. I thought they might find a way to work him in there. And honestly, after the 0 yards, I was kind of surprised they didn't trade him. But Panthers didn't trade anybody. Especially glad they didn't trade these two guys, Brian Burns and Frankie fucking Luvu, who both had a sack this week. I was worried about that'd be one of the notifications I'd get when I get off work, because I have a pile of ESPN notifications, like James Harden traded, Chase Young traded, Montez Sweat traded. Man, the fucking Washington got rid of both of their upcoming free agent ends. And the Niners getting Chase Young, if he can be healthy the rest of the year, that it's like the rich getting richer, as they say. So go Niners, I guess. But awesome to see Frankie Luvu, who led the team in tackles, also get the sack. Brian Burns. I told you I felt like he's about to make some noise. He's getting double covered, so much. You can only do so much, He's Spider-Man, not Superman, and he still doesn't have Spider-Man powers. But it's awesome. It was a quiet game. I didn't get to watch it. Just watched some highlights after I got off work on Sunday. But 15-13. Panthers are 1-0, and we've got an opportunity to do a little something, because our division is trash. Coming off the bye, we beat the Texans at home. Now we got the Colts at home. Then we go to Chicago. I believe both of those games are very winnable games. We've really got 2 games on the rest of our schedule that I'm like, okay, we're probably not going to win. We have a very low chance of winning that game, and it's like the Jaguars and the Cowboys. But it's exciting to see them finally win, man. And I was talking to a friend of mine that's a Panthers fan. I actually went to the Hawk game with him last night. More on the Hawks 2-game winning streak, after I briefly talk about the Panthers. I think what I'm going to do is mostly talk about the Hawks in this episode, and then tomorrow maybe do a little more about a wrap-up, do a Wednesday wrap-up episode for the week of NFL action, including a little more touching on the Panthers. But just so excited to see this team finally get a win. And, man, if we can win, get a little win streak going, which is very possible with the Colts, with their backup Gardner Minshew coming to town, Then I don't know who's going to be the quarterback for the Bears when we go up there to face them. And honestly, whether it's Badgett or Padgett, whatever his name is, or Justin Fields, either way, like, I think we got a good chance, a decent chance. Like, this is a team, if it gets some momentum, which I feel like has been slowly building kind of under the surface. Everybody else just saw the winless team, but I saw some potential there. Bryce Young getting a little better each game. Got a new play caller in Thomas Brown now, which I also think, people talk about how, Frank Wright, blah, blah, blah. It could hurt him, like, giving up the play calling, or it could help him because then he can focus on everything. Like, he can see maybe the bigger picture a little better now because he doesn't have to, like, focus on every play making the call. He can be watching that, watching the defense, watching just watching the game a little more. Obviously he's watching the game. You know what I mean? I feel like you just free him up to see some more shit. And I do not believe, like I said, I believe we're going to win at least back-to-back games and a very good chance of a 3-game winning streak on the horizon. But you got to get to 2 to get to 3. We got to 1, finally. And what a game, man. What a team, man. Yeah, we got the Cowboys after the Bears and the Titans. So Will Levis had an awesome debut for them. I guess mayonnaise is a good thing to put in your coffee. And then we got the Bucs for the first time, and Saints, Falcons. So 3 NFC South games in a row. Those will be key. We win, at least 2 out of 3 of those, I feel like. Yeah, maybe even 3, man. I know usually we struggle against the Saints in New Orleans a lot of times. They beat us in Charlotte already. But Bryce Young is not the same quarterback he was at the beginning of the season or at week 2, week 3, week 4. Any of those weeks, Bryce Young is a better player than. And this is the thing you keep reading, too, about this Panthers team and all the good things they've been saying, even while losing, about Bryce Young. And he's putting, how just like his leadership, he's not losing confidence. He's not letting the losing really get him down. Sure, he hated it, but you can appreciate, it could be difficult to, like, not let the losing affect you when you've done nothing but win. Probably, I would assume ever since he played football, or in a lot of sports, probably, I don't know, but he was probably beating people. Like, he's probably winning a lot. So it's different when you go from, winning almost, most of your games at Alabama, winning, who knows, maybe all of his games in high school, and then you go to the NFL and you lose 7 in a row, or 6 in a row. So to bounce back like that and keep his head straight, keep his head up, as Pac would say, it's a beautiful thing. And you love to see it. Speaking of what you love to see, like I said, we'll go more into the Panthers tomorrow. We'll talk about some NFL stuff whenever I wake up and decide to bless y'all. But we'll talk about the Hawks now, man. The Hawks, it was a rough start to the season, losing to the Hornets, blowing like what felt like multiple opportunities to beat the Knicks in the home opener on Friday. They shocked me. Like, I wouldn't, I thought we'd beat the Wolves, but I wasn't so sure at halftime. But with the Milwaukee Bucks going up to Milwaukee for some reason for a 1-game road trip, like, we kicked the Bucks' ass. We shut down Damian Lillard. A lot of that was Dejounte Murray, who eventually goes off, last night's game, but didn't really, was still kind of getting the points up a little bit in this game. But, like, you could tell he was affecting things, man. He only ended up with, he had 15 points against the Bucks, but he had 2 steals, he had a block, 5 assists, and he was a big part. Maybe just Damian Lillard had a bad game. It happens to everybody, but I didn't expect him to have that bad a game. He only scored 6 points. So I'd like to think, instead of him having a bad game, we just had a good one. And last night's second half kind of encourages me in that thought, because it is looking like this defense is coming to life. And I know it's only 2 games, but I feel like we saw flashes of it even in the losses. They just weren't able to do it consistent enough, like get stops and score like at the same time. But they just came out the gate hot. against the Bucks, man. Like, and it was in Milwaukee. You got the Greek Freak. You got Dame Time, Damian Lillard, Giannis and Dame there. I thought that, we're going to, we just need to put up a respectful game. Like, I did not expect to win. I told my friend that ended up meeting up at the game last night, I was like, we'll probably get to see the Hawks' first win of the year. Because I'd love to see it, but I don't think we're going to beat the Bucks. And, sometimes it's a beautiful thing to be proven wrong. We outscored them in every quarter except for the third when we both scored 33, which is kind of fitting. The third quarter, two teams scored 33 points. But 31-25 first half at halftime, the score was 68-47. And they just kept foot on the gas. It was great, man. Or the Bucks did outscore. Sorry, I looked at it backwards. They outscored us in the fourth. But by that point, we had like Mo Gay and Kobe Buffkin getting their first career minutes in the NBA. And Buffkin got his first career points. So shout out to that Kobe. Or any Kobe, really. But you got DeAndre Hunter staying good, man. Like he had 15 points, which doesn't sound like a lot. But more importantly, he had 4 steals against the Bucks. We had 15 total steals as a team. All of our starters had 1 steal at least. Capella and Young had 1. Jalen Johnson, who got his first start of the season, had 2, and so did Dejounte Murray. But Dejounte Murray was more than just that, though. He was putting in work, and that's what I say about him. Even when he has had not great shooting games, he still finds ways to take care of things and help things out and make things happen. And like we saw last night in the second half, he can go the fuck off too shooting. More on that in a second. Spoiler alert. But Trey had 20 and 11 assists, so a nice double-double for him. But just a balanced effort, man. We had 8 dudes in double figures, including Bogey, 17 points off the bench and 6 assists. 4 of 7 from 3. Good to see him in those threes. Jalen Johnson, mentioned the 14 points, also had 7 rebounds and assists. Doesn't sound like a lot, but he was 2 of 3 from downtown. Him and DeAndre Hunter both 6 of 10 overall, so not missing a lot of shots. And it's great to see Hunter like this, man. We've seen flashes of him playing good throughout his career, but it doesn't seem like it ever sticks. It'll be like a game here or there. But to have a couple games like this, you had a big 20-point game, or plus 20, and then also in general, just seeming like being more comfortable out there. The way he moves with and without the ball, hustling for rebounds. Still not as many as I'd like sometimes, but still, man, you can't always be there for it. And just, if this team can keep this defense up, that's going to make the offense even better. Because defense creates offense. Sometimes the best offense is a great defense, and vice versa. Because you get those fast breaks, you get more opportunities for, Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter dunks. Saw that in both of these games. And, Hunter looking better. And Jalen Johnson, it feels like he has taken a huge step in year 3. So maybe the John Collins trade will end up being good. I still say we should have got fucking more for John Collins, as talented as a player as he is. And he was kind of wasted with us. I don't know. I feel like he has the potential to really break through. But Jalen Johnson is showing he's like, I got that potential too. And breaking through, he seems to be doing. Playing with way more confidence in the 3rd season of his NBA career. Only the bad thing is I'd like to see more AJ Griffin, but you can't really expect too much. He got 6 points against the Bucks in his 10 minutes. So that's one thing you gotta appreciate about AJ Griffin, going up against his dad. It's only happened a few times in the NBA. His dad is the new head coach as of this season for the Milwaukee Bucks. So, that felt good. One of the shots he hit was right in front of his dad, too, so that was pretty cool. He only took 3 shots, and 2 of those were 3-pointers, and he hit them both. So the only shot he missed was his only 2-point shot. So you really got to appreciate the way he maximizes his minutes. He can play 8 or 10 minutes and still somehow, score, make 2 shots at least. As much as some guys that play, way more minutes. So it's just nice to see it finally coming together, because that's why I was saying don't freak out about the 0-2 start, because there's a lot more games. There still are. But Like, like you could see some things. Even in the losses, there were moments where you're like, man, this offense is clicking. And it's looking even better now that we've got some wins. Like they're getting threes at a more consistent rate, and that it just spreads it all out. And that means they're all going to get better shots because you've got, it feels like 5 guys on the court at any given time that can do multiple things. They can score, all of them. Got a bunch of guys that can rebound. You'll see even Trey grabbing a few here and there. All of them getting steals, like everybody. And they also, like, you got a lot of, multi-talented guys like Jalen Johnson, is a power forward, starting power forward, replacing John Collins. But he also is really damn good at passing the ball and, making plays happen for his teammates, not just himself, but the plays he's making for himself. Man, so one of the things, Jalen Rose got to be proud of, seeing a Jalen rock the rim and hustle. It's just exciting, man. That place was lighting up last night in the second half. Fans got into it. The players woke up. But I still think this was a weird, situation in the back-to-back. Like, the Hawks had a one-day, one-game road trip all the way to Milwaukee, halfway across the damn country, almost Canada. And then they come back and play a game against the Timberwolves in Atlanta. My theory is the Timberwolves game was supposed to be in Minnesota, and either they fucked up or changed it. I don't know. Because that would make more sense. Like, you go to a game in Milwaukee, then you fly over to Minnesota. That's pretty close. A road trip. And then you fly back, and you have a couple days off, and you play on Wednesday. But, the Bucks had a back-to-back, but both their games were in Milwaukee. The Hawks had to come all the way back home, so they was tired. But let me finish talking about the Bucks game, and then we will go into last night's action that I was there to witness in person. Trey was 3 of 8 from 3 against the Bucks. I already talked about Dre and Jalen both hitting 2. A.J. Griffin hit both of his. Sadiq Bey coming off the bench ends up with 13 points, 9 rebounds, so close to another double-double. Okongwu looked a lot better these last couple games, too. In his 23 minutes, he hit 7 of 11 shots for 14 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. And Kobe Buffin got one shot. He went to the free throw line and he hit 1 of 2. So he got his first career point. Muhammad Gay is still going to wait on his. But big win, man, big win for the Hawks against the Bucks. And, to hold Dame Lillard to only 6 points. He had a couple steals, so Dame's still going to do his thing. But I kept waiting on him to go the fuck off. Like in the third quarter, I was like, okay, he's gonna hit like 5 threes in a row somehow and make it a game. But it just never materialized. And even Giannis Antetokounmpo. I really wish I could pronounce his name. I always struggle with it. Let me look at the whole thing so I can get it right or close. Why does Google just randomly change things? There we go. Antetokounmpo. Oh, yeah, that's tough. That's why we'll just call him the Greek Freak. But he only had 26 points even. So when you hold those two players to 30 points total, when normally that's like what each one of them scores. I mean, they both averaged over 30 last year. Last time, two teammates, they both averaged 30 points the year before was, Elgin Baylor and Jerry West. And they were talking about that on the Hawks game, and they had a good point. The Hawks announcers, Dominique Wilkins, Bob Rathman, about how Elgin Baylor is not really talked about enough. Dude could do so much. He was super talented. Didn't get retired right before he had a chance to really win a ring, but man, he was lethal. Could do a lot of things on that court. I remember playing some with him on NBA Live. They would have decades teams, and he was on. I guess it would have been the '60s one. And I feel like I put him on other teams too somehow. I can't remember. That was a fun game series back in the day. Y'all play NBA Live. EA Sports is in the game. But great to see the Hawks win 127-110 in Milwaukee. All around awesome effort for our Atlanta Hawks. And, of course, Clint Capella, 12 points, 12 rebounds, doing his damn thing. I love this team. And last night, I finally, went to my first game early. Well, I didn't get it, I didn't make it to a Braves game this year for the first time In the 11 years I've lived in Atlanta, I kept putting it off. And then the season was fucking over. Fuck the Phillies, but at least their season's over too. But I bought ticket early, man. I hit my couple friends up when I was like, I can go on Sunday and Monday. I'm like, okay, Monday, let's go. Timberwolves are in town. Anthony Edwards, one of the future faces of the league. Sometimes I think I was thinking the Wolves were going to come to the Sonics, but they might just give Seattle a new team. I still think it's a possibility. Alex Rodriguez tries to redeem himself with the Seattle fans by moving the Wolves to Seattle. But probably, who knows? Yeah, they got some history, man. They got KG, Stephon Marbury there back in the day. But the Hawks came out terrible in the first half, it felt like. Like, not any defense, man. It wasn't like they were terrible. It was just like the Timberwolves were hitting shots. I think the Hawks were too tired to play defense. I kept telling people, I was like, man, they're jet lagged. Like, they're tired. They flew all the way from Milwaukee last night. Like, they're not at full strength. And at halftime, man, they turned it around. Like, and it is crazy. You look at, like, the Timberwolves. The first half, they had 69 points compared to, 60 for the Hawks. Not 60. 60, yeah. No, 70. 79, shit. Yeah, that's right. I was like, man, I'm mathing wrong, man. I'm tired. It was a long work week. It's a 79. I just wanted to say 69, I guess. Pervert. 79 to 60 at halftime. The Hawks down at home. After beating the Milwaukee Bucks, a championship favorite, one of them at least, beating them by almost 20. Like, after emptying the bench, so they could have beat them by more than 20. And doing what they did to Dame and Giannis. And then at home, you're down by 20 points pretty much at halftime. And right before half, we were down by 20. Anthony Edwards had like 20 points, I think it was, in the first half. Like, they weren't missing. I remember I looked up. Like, we got there like late in the first quarter. It took a second to get in. Got off work at 5. It was a whole thing. But and I was like, man, the fucking Wolves are shooting like 70% from 3. What the hell, man? They were hitting like everything. But the Hawks came out and they were a different team in the second half. And their point totals weren't a lot different, really. And, they had, 67. So only 7 more points for themselves. But the defense, y'all, the defense. That's where it happened. Because they held the Timberwolves, who y'all remember scored 79 points in the first half. But in the second half, those same Minnesota Timberwolves didn't quite look the same. They only scored 34 points, less than half of their totals from the first half. And that was all, or at least mostly, you'll say all Hawks defense. And if they can keep this up and consistently play defense like this, the offense is going to feed off of it. We're going to get a lot of exciting plays. We're going to have a Congo dunk. And he had a couple made me stand up and go, double O, baby, last night. That place was electric in the second half. Because the first half, we're all like, I think all the fans were in shock. We're all excited. We beat the Bucks, and Hawks fans don't fully get in there until halftime. I got to sit at the terrace level, which is cool. I haven't sat there. I don't think I've sat there before. It was cool. I usually sit up in the rafters, but it was nice to have some cool seats. And yeah, they came out different, man. And we were chanting "Fuck you, Rudy sucks," and there was "Fuck you, Rudy" chants. Mostly Rudy sucks. Whenever Rudy Gobert went to the free throw line, I was gonna try to get a COVID-related chant started, but who knows? I probably would have got canceled. They would have misunderstood it. Because I remember Rudy Gobert, like, when COVID was first coming into the news, Rudy Gobert, like a day before the NBA season was canceled, was like rubbing on the microphones, like joking around, like with his mouth or whatever, like haha, COVID, huh? And then immediately like everything shut down. So I always jokingly say Rudy Gobert started NBA COVID. He had a pretty good game. They had one technical, but 14 points, 13 rebounds, and 16 and 10 for Karl Anthony Towns. Anthony Edwards ended up with 31 points. But, man, them Hawks. Dejounte Murray, was kind of doing his thing. Not like crazy. It was like 11 points at halftime, so not bad. Considering he had 15 and 18 points total in other games. But he went off. Had us all going, go DJ, go! Or at least me. Nobody else seemed to do that. But he ended up with 41 points. Dude had a 30-point second half. Most of those in the third quarter. Just went off. I think it was 20 points in the third quarter? I didn't write it down. But it was incredible. The way once it started clicking in the second half, it was like steal after steal. You have Okongwu dunking it. Jalen Johnson dunking it. Okongwu only had 10 points, but there were some loud points. Made all 3 of his field goal attempts. Only played 24 minutes, had 7 rebounds and 3 assists. You're not expecting him to get assists. And also off the bench, Sadiq Bey, another double-digit game, kind of quiet, 11 points. Bogdanovich had 8. So, quiet bench game, Bogdanovich is one of his, quieter games this year. But the starters, man, that second half, once they started going, everybody but Clint Capella had at least 1 steal. Dejounte Murray had 2. And I feel like saying he had 2 steals really understates, his game last night. His length, we talked about it a lot last year, how it helps him on defense. It's really showing itself some of these last couple of games. Just pretty much shutting Damian Lillard down, and just they were playing aggressive in this second half. It was like Quinn Snyder went into his personal stash and they all did a fucking line. There was that big of an energy change. But a lot of it was they were fucking jet lagged. A lot of times that'll happen with a good team playing the second half of a back to back. That you're not usually quite the same in the first half. And it was definitely a tale of 2 halves. And the Hawks didn't just come back. They kept going. Ended up winning by 14 after being down by 21. It was so cool the way they did it too. DeJounte tying it with a 3 at 98 to pretty much complete the comeback part of it at the end of the third quarter. Pretty much as the buzzer goes, and just kept going. Foot on the gas, step on the gas, foot on the necks, or something. And that's one of my philosophies, with basketball especially. When you get going, keep going. It's more momentum based than I feel like any other sport. It's more about rhythm, and how everything moves. And just once you get going, it's such a game of runs. The good kind, not the diarrhea. I don't know why I had to bring up diarrhea. Mark that, take that off. We'll edit that out later if I actually did any editing. But it was so cool seeing this Hawks team. The way that, back-to-back wins. I wasn't freaking out about 0-2. But 2-2 looks a hell of a lot better. A hell of a. Trey, 24 points and 8 assists. Not a double-double. But still doing his thing, hitting all his free throws. Only hit 1 of his 7 threes. Dejounte Murray was 3 of 5. So was DeAndre Hunter. Another 6 of 10 game from the field for DeAndre Hunter. So, not getting huge scoring totals most days, but to get in the 20s, that one game and consistently be in the mid-teens, at least 16 points in this one. 1 steal, 4 rebounds. And he's hitting his shots a lot better. I don't know if he put in some work or what. But back-to-back games shooting 60%. You'll take those numbers from DeAndre Hunter, especially hitting 3 threes. And DeJounte Murray, man, I just can't talk enough about how damn good he was. And it's just seeing it in person is even better. Basketball is my favorite sport to watch in person. No offense, Braves, but number one, it's so easy to get to a Hawks game. I walked to the game last night. I could not walk. I guess I could walk to a Braves game, but my legs would be putty by the time I got there. It would be a shitty walk. And, it would take hours. I don't know how many hours because I hadn't looked it up, but it would take a while. But the Hawks, man, it's just a little bit over an hour, barely, from my door to their door. So I don't mind that one bit. There's also, buses I can take. But honestly, if it's walkable for me, and I feel capable of doing the walk, and it's some sort of time-sensitive situation, I am going to walk, usually. I'm just going to. Because, Marta, you never know, man. Like, bus be like late or just doesn't show up. And then you're even later than you were going to be before. Uber's expensive. I Ubered home because it was like 50-some degrees and I was in my jersey and t-shirt and shorts. And I'm like, man, the walk there wasn't bad. I was actually kind of happy and proud of myself that I wasn't even really tired. You know, it was day 4 of my work week yesterday. I was on my feet for over 8 hours working, walked to and from work. Not a lot of time, not a lot of food before I left to go to the game. And then I was, like not feeling too bad when I got there. So, I felt all right about that. My legs are tired today. That's just general working and stuff like that. But it was incredible, man. I'm so glad I was there for that one. Timberwolves, who beat us last time I saw us in person last year. Anthony Edwards had a really good game, and he had a pretty damn good game too, especially the first half. 20 points on like 9 shots. Like he took, not made, but took. So it's super talented, man. I do believe he will be one of the faces of the league. So with Trey, man, like, not having like monster games, but it's happening. Trey's gonna have a 40-point game within the next week, 2 weeks max. But honestly, I would put money if I had money, to put on something. Trey Young, and gambling was legal in the state of Georgia. Trey Young going to have a 40-point game in the next few days. Like 7 days? I'd say within the next week we're going to see 40 points from Trey Young. Definitely 2 weeks. But I'm leaning towards 1 week. And even if he don't, man, he's going to definitely have a 30-point game. That I would put some money on. 40-point game, less likely, but it's going to happen before too long. And to see Dejounte Murray, like, he's capable of this. But to see him just turn it on, and really makes me feel good about this Hawks team and this season we've got. Because, nobody really expects anything from the Hawks. But, last time nobody expected anything from us, we went to the conference fucking finals. And we haven't really been the same since. Like, we haven't been able to repeat that. We've not been consistent. Now we got a full off season. Quinn Snyder, the full-on head coach, got his staff and everything. The guys seem to be buying in because there was a lot of talk during the losses, but I still feel like a lot of people weren't looking close enough even at those losses. Like maybe they weren't watching the whole game. I don't know. But regardless, this team, it's just the Timberwolves this game. But the game before that, it was the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. One of the top 4 teams, maybe 5 in the league. 5 at worst, A lot of people could see them winning a title. Nobody talked about the Hawks winning a title. And I'm not going to go that far. It's definitely possible. Not the most likely scenario. But it's, they can't rule it out. You get a power up like Mario. Something. Like, this team could do some damage, man. If we can stay healthy. The leaps Jalen Johnson is making in his 3rd year with a larger role. Sadiq Bey, Bogdanovich, providing some points off the bench. Okongwu, looking explosive last night. And looking damn good against Milwaukee, too. Clint was one of the only few down things from the game. He didn't do a lot. There was some misses of his. I was like, what in the world was that? But, they missed all 3 of his shots, but, 5 rebounds. How many blocks? I thought he had a block. No, he didn't have any. He had 5 blocks. Yeah, I was going to say. I was like, wait, he had some blocks. Looked at the wrong line. Like, Trey didn't have any blocks. So, Clint Capella, if he could, as long as you're going to you get 5 blocks, I'm okay with you missing all your shots in a win. Because Clint Capella is not necessarily, like, he's not, he can score. And he's going to, he's good for, 12 and 12 every game. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But still always doing something. Only 1 turnover and 5 blocks. So that's something Dikembe Mutombo, no. Get out of my damn house, shit. I just love it, man. And 6 players in double figures in this one, but the way they're just doing it, man. Jalen Johnson just keep up, even with only 12 points in this game, just overall, you can just see like he's playing with so much more confidence. So credit to Quinn Snyder, and I'm sure a lot of it is, he's just getting more minutes. But, it's not just that. And, he's earning those minutes. But you can see a big difference in how Jalen Johnson's playing. You see a big difference, DeAndre Hunter, if he's going to do this consistently. And, these guys can all feed off each other, the offense feeding defense, like an Aurora Boss, like on Loki. I got to watch Loki. Well, maybe I won't talk about it. But Loki, man, I enjoy it. But the Aurora Boss, the snake eating its own tail. It's a symbol going throughout history. Mythology, all kinds of shit. Some people say that's what we're in. That's what life is. A snake just eating its tail. Everything repeating over and over again. Forever and over. But yeah, man. Super pumped. My Panthers won their first game of the year. Finally. And more to come, y'all. More to come. And the Hawks stringing off 2 straight victories. Hallelujah! I love it. You should too. Hey, man, that's it. I just wanted to do a quick, sort of informal, freestyle-ish episode. I'm always thinking about this stuff, so that's the work I put in. I'm always reading and thinking. And I wanted to talk. It's mostly emotion going off memory. I love that game. I'm definitely going to some more games this year. And this Hawks team, man, let's keep this up. And, that place was lighting up, man. Fans bring it, man. They may not be there on time, but Atlanta Hawks fans are one of a kind. Hey, man, hope y'all have a great day. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Subscribe on Spotify. And listen to Babbling Brooks. And tell your friends and people you don't like to listen to Babbling Brooks. Because maybe they'll learn something. I'll start trying to drop some knowledge here and there, hide some. I like to think of myself as a wise old man. Even though I'm not 40 yet, I feel old. That was kind of a joke, but not. And yes, it was and not. But yeah, hope y'all have a great day. Listen for more, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Babbling Brooks signing off. Peace out.